because it's up to the wombs what to do with population. She has the mechanics to create or not create. Also, she and he are often confused as to what consent means and the comprehension of consent. The acceptance of that there is a problem, and then the accountability that it needs to be fixed, and then realizing and comprehending that the one to fix it is more specifically the woman. This debate about, and then the propaganda and huge display of hypocrisy as to women and abortion matters, okay, oftentimes is represented with males who do not have the mechanics of a womb. The woman has the mechanics of a womb. It is what she is born with, okay? And there are reasons as to why she has the womb and he does not. Therefore, when he makes it his business and his concern and his priority to not only control the womb, but to insert his own entitlement over that womb, which he has no mechanics of. He may study the womb, he may know the scientific foundations and operations of the womb, but in fact, he does not have a womb, just as much as I do not have testes or sperm. Therefore, it is not my duty, nor do I make it my assignment to determine or to establish or limit or demand anything of his operations of his testes and his sperm, okay? Because, for one, even if I did study it, it's not mine. For two, I have no control over it because I do not know how to operate it. And for three, I don't care to waste my energy to do such a useless activity, such as subjugate the male species into my ideologies of what he should or should not be doing with his own sexual organs. With that being said, the only time that I intrude and impose upon any of the going-ons of what is going on in the human species culture, the only times that I intrude and say and speak my piece, especially and more specifically in regards to sexuality, sexual organs, reproduction, and the usage of such, is when injustice is being done. The injustices that are plagued and done by both the male and female species. The injustices more specifically, and let's start off with child abuse, incest, rape, and subtleties that are not seen as rape and they're not seen as violations, but which is pressure, which is manipulation, which is drug poisoning, okay, or which is coercion, which is, did I already go over manipulation techniques as far as the oppression on sex, as in consent, also false impregnations, also a lack of accountability of who indeed is truly responsible for that abortion, okay, and we'll get out, I will work my way around to that topic, okay? But let's start off with some of the huge disapprovals. Child sexual abuse and trafficking and sex abuse. Okay, let's just make it like sex abuse. Okay, and also bestiality. Those would be very fitting and probably some of the top priority debates and also defenses. And the only times really where I will speak up on such atrocities that happen within this paradigm, and because of and the absolute delusion. And I mean, it's just so, I don't know all of the factors, but there are several factors that have yet and are still needing to be truly addressed, rectified. And that's what that these atrocities, these real sins, I mean, according to you guys, these real sins, these real crimes are not regulated in the manner that they should be and need to be and could be regulated due to collectively, including myself, our inability to understand and or overstand and comprehend the difference between appropriate and inappropriate based off of our so-called perception of us being at the top of the hierarchy within the existence realm. Okay, because clearly clearly we are not. And if anything, the so-called human species or humanoid species is probably the most reckless, the most wasteful, and the most uncivilized out of all of the existing. And that's comparing, I mean, apes. Okay, that's comparing you to birds, all of them, cats, dogs, all of them. This myth that goes around saying that we, and I'm not saying me, because I'm not going individually, I'm going collectively we are not. Any animal that does this at this level is the real true savage. Okay, that's the savage, not me. And more specifically, not women. Okay, maybe female predators. And the female predators are actually quite the most fascinating, but almost it's a betrayal as far as how nature's concerned, because the female predator, like, okay, now this is comparing female predator like lion and tiger, because the females are the ones who typically are the ones who go and get the food. The male dominant, he's the one who, what does he do again? I don't remember, but I mean that's neither here nor there. The females make it their job and their duty to protect him, and they make it their job and their duty to get the food. And I'm not against this. That's how they choose to do it, and it's been working. It seems to work. It's kept him alive. It's kept them alive. Now their predator behavior is not even within the same race as the so-called humanoid female predator. Okay, because the female humanoid predator will join in with the male predator humanoid and do dishonorable and very confusing. This is what needs to be studied. These are the things that need to be controlled. Not controlling abortions, not controlling on a large scale the guidelines of which a woman or female should be held to some standard of his documents and exhortations of what it is to live the human woman experience. It's not up to him, okay? It will never be up to him, because you cannot. You could study all you want. You could have all the facts that you think you have, but he indeed does not have true access to it. Okay, and by true access, I mean him having his own personal, okay, not something that he may force as his own. That's imposing, and he'll never have it, okay? Meaning it's not part of his mechanism. If he has testes and a penis, even if he cuts it off and then tries to give himself, whatever, lobotomy, and then do all this crap and manipulate himself, even if he does that, it still will not, he will never be able to achieve that. Never. Just as much as I am not going to achieve having his mechanisms and his properties of his sexual organs. Therefore, it is not my. We could talk about this. Let's do the ideology and the fallacy world. Okay, let's do the fake world. It is not my right to control his body. Okay, now let's go to the real law. I don't care to control his body. I can only force, and I choose not to force because that's a waste of my energy, and that is not fitting to my nature. Now, back to the fake world. So when the utter disillusion is followed, okay, and then the lack of voice and the lack of acknowledgement that these real crimes are going on, such as the manipulation of sexual organs, whether that's male or female, the incest that's been going on generationally. And it does not matter what ethnicity you believe that you are, or think that you are, or even know that you are. This has gone on within all of every last one of them have practiced and done and are guilty of incest. They're guilty of pedophilia. This is something that has been done, okay, and has not been. There's been no justice brought to it. Okay, a lot of cases, more than necessary, have went unnoticed. Okay, a lot of them don't even have a criminal record, but yet the crimes that are brought the most attention oftentimes are minuscule to the dangerous and imposing an intrusion of the actual life in general. By that I mean the crimes that are catered to and are aired on your televisions are your enforcement. I will not say law enforcement because that is not true. I will not speak falsehood. Okay, your enforcement organizations are mainly focused, and their presence is seen in locations that oftentimes and typically the crime, the real crime of most urgency and importance is not where they are present and is not what they are contributing their enforcement to. The enforcement in the natural law, we're blending right now. The enforcement in the natural law, which is unnatural to be, would be what would need to be controlled is this intrusion, sexual intrusion upon relatives, and this is genetic DNA relatives, okay? And it's done not in a self-preservation method, okay? Because now we have to go back to the real law, okay? Because we don't even care to go by, we don't go by any of this. We're going animalistically because evidently the humanoid species collectively is a savage, okay? The monkeys may possibly even have children with their brothers and their cousins, okay? They may do that, but they're doing that. They're practicing this in a self-preservation natural instinct. And I don't even really believe that that's how they do it. But let's cater to the idea that that I was a science researcher who studied these monkeys, and I know that they have sex with their sisters and their brothers in order to reproduce, not just to have sexual whatever incentive or for pleasure. They don't do that, and they don't rape. I know they don't rape. I know that animals don't rape each other because it's a selection, and I know that's why they fight each other is because of the selection. Okay, and more specifically, the men fight, not the woman. Okay, in all instances, the man is the one in law who is proving himself to be the protector and the leader. Okay, this isn't nothing to see this whole thing about the gender roles, and I don't want to live up to that, and the sexual practice police, if we will, okay, is overbearing, and and it is entitled to no such labels. Okay, the real crimes and the real urgency is these males and female predators who prey upon their own children just as much as they prey on other people's offspring and do violations, because they're not doing these sexual crimes in the efforts of sexual preservation as in replication of themselves. That's not what they're doing. That's not what nature does. So either there's a complete flaw within their brain mechanisms and sexual organisms, or they are mentally retarded, which would mean that they would need to be disposed of all ethnicities, as far as I'm concerned, that does this not in the act of self-preservation and replication. You are not intruding upon your children doing obscene, sexual, perverse, that is a violating act, in comparison to law of what the animals do. The humanoid is by far the most savagely and the most retarded, because if you think that you're smart, you are not smart. You are not replicating yourself. You are abusing, and oftentimes you end up killing off these children by doing those obscene things. And then you have the male predator, which is the highest. Okay, so the female, typically the woman, if you collected all the women, and I'm not saying collect them literally, if you go and bring up the instances as to which these intrusions, sexual impositions, and let's exclude this because this is biased, and this is something that the misogynist has projected onto the woman, which is how she decorates and assimilates clothing. Okay, even if she were to walk out naked in the street, it does not give you permission. You are not entitled to, and you, the male or female predator, are accountable and at fault if you impose your sexual projection onto the naked woman. It is not her fault as to why you're turned on. It's your own lack of control. It's your own lack of compulsivity. If you see someone, whether this is a child, a boy, a grown man, or a woman, naked, that one who is naked is not the one at fault for your inability to control your action. Okay? Furthermore, in nature, every last one of them are naked. Okay? Every last one. The gorilla, the squirrel, the dog, the cat, they're all naked. They are all naked. Their fur gives them the appearance to not be, but they are. So we're not realistically basing our priorities and urgency of self-preservation nor replication, because not only is this operation, this falsehood of law, has it imposed the priority and a lack of accountability and a comprehension, a so-called intellect of what is appropriate and inappropriate. Instead, it caters to hiding that and then dismissing it by subjugating women, which are the creators, which are your gods, basically. It gives him the pedestal of being at the top of this hierarchy of the existence, when in fact, actually, he is considerably, collectively, not individually, but collectively, he is most definitely at the bottom of the barrel. At the bottom when it comes to the depravity and mental retardedness, as to how he was able to select the notion to even achieve doing such a disgusting and unnatural event. Okay, a mentally retarded, incapable, incompetent, and this includes the female predator. Okay, the female predator the female predator preys upon not just children, they prey upon and oftentimes alongside and with this organized mental retard. He's very organized because he is very strategic and has tactics and has methods as to which he is able to appear in the world to be someone of standards when in fact they are not. Anyone who does this to their children and to other existing, okay, and to other women and to other men is not, by far, there's nothing the only reason why it is deemed superior, and the only reason why it is deemed to be it is fascinating. It's fascinating in the sense that the deception, that's the fascination, because how are they able to be so cold, not cold-hearted, how are they able to be so apathetic but yet ascertain that they are indeed someone who has standards? Okay, the reason why they're able to do this, and the reason why they're deemed as fascinating, and the reason why they're deemed as to be superior, is because they're computerized. Okay, they're computerized mechanics as to the operations of how they're able to set these organizations up, and for the it's not hidden. It's actually not hidden. It's actually right. They leave everything right there for you. Okay, but it is seen as such because of the detail-oriented and very specific psychological manipulation, their studies and their comprehension of how to impose into just about any. And they're able to do this to even some of the most scholarly. Okay. They're able to do this to just because the reasons why is because they studied, observed, and they've done this enough times to see the patterns and to know the triggers, okay? And then to how to identify who they will prey upon and how to build this image. They're able to do self-images and then project their ideologies, okay, to the point that where the prey, the victims, will take on and believe they're convinced and then start to replicate what's against their own nature. They're able to replicate, take on, because that's the projected idea, which is done by an organized system of predators, which is what runs this system. Okay, there's nothing to disagree about. I don't need any further research. And then it is also linguistically, okay, and this is just simply a language. Okay, language is a very it is a very huge contribution as to how these unnatural preferences and acceptances have gone on. If you look on the back of the cigarettes, if you look on the back of alcoholic, whatever, on the bottle, on the package, the first one to be demonized and to be told what to do, not suggested what to do, but told what to do by someone or something or an organization titled as the Surgeon General. Now, I do not know anyone by the name of Surgeon General, but let's just briefly go over those two words. Who or what is a surgeon? A surgeon is someone that is, or something, an operation and it's a titled skill, if you will. A surgeon is a repairing. It's able to repair, put together, and assembly. And if anything, the surgeon could be, it does not have to be in the medical field. It does not have to be related to the medical field. But the surgeon is someone who is able to make an arrangement, and it does not have to be on a person, is the basically God, okay? Surgeon is basically God. Or the humanoid's definition of God is a miracle. A surgeon, anyone who is a surgeon, anything that is a surgeon can repair. Okay, so the repair. And let's not add man or woman at the end of it, but the general. And what is general? General is the you could say majoral. General is the majoral or the repetition. And by that, we just mean majority. Okay? So, paraphrasing that down, we'll just say the all-knowing and the miracle, okay? The miracle majority says that drinking this will, and you should not, and it tells you on the back of your packages of cigarettes and on the back of your alcoholics, whatever, it tells you that the all-knowing miraculous population majority tell you not to drink. If you are pregnant, it will cause birth defects. Okay, now birth defects is an interesting one. So what is a birth and what is a defect? A birth is your replication, which was housed and sheltered by the woman, the one who has the womb. Okay, she's the God. Her womb literally is. Okay, so the woman. And defect is what runs this place. Okay, defect. What is D and what's fect? Well, these are short-term words, which is D is seen often as a intrusion, okay, or an abnormal, or something that is taking from the essence of someone. So by defect could be something that is not presently or is not replicating itself most oftentimes in a natural birth. And by natural birth, that is a very strange thing, because we don't know what entirely to subjugate natural to, since it is able to not change, it's able to be altered, or to alter, with or without the human or humanoid's preference, with or without our feelings. Nature does not care what we think or know that we know. It does not care. So with that being said, and we being part of nature, our entitlement to state one over the other, when indeed, even then, when we return back to nature, the main designated driver, the one who is bringing forth the creation, is the woman. It is the woman. And do you see the women, birds, or any other that are arguing and having protest and telling one what to do? No. Because they just don't care. We just don't care. And the fact that a defect, as defective as it is in its thoughts, as defected as it is in entitlement, as defected as it is as in oppression, as defected as it is as in controlling, is defected as it is into its inability to comprehend and to have knowledge that in fact that it is defected, that the predator, male and female, is defected. They are the defected one, telling everyone else, creator or not, that they should not, and they are told and instructed to not. Okay, but then keep on reading that Surgeon General warning. The majority, or so-called majority populations, all-knowing information. They suggest to the man, okay, they suggest that consuming this product, it will impair. What is impair? Well, let's say immediately, immensely, impotent, and important. Nope. Could be said as to say M is seen as a immensely, as an abundance, okay? It is not seen as something derogatory when we say M. Go ahead. It is not seen as derogatory when we see M. It is seen as something essential, has urgency. It may impair your ability to operate the Okay, so they're very so when it comes to the female, they're very specific about what they don't want you to do, and then they tell you who's telling you this. Okay, so the importance was to first make an announcement to the woman what you are not to do, and that what you will do by consuming this is you're at fault for it, and that you're creating a defect, okay? But then they'll turn around, and then underneath what they thought was more important to list first, they will passively announce without really being specific, because they're saying it's impairing your ability to operate the machinery. Untrue. What they should have really said was, the Surgeon General, if you're going to go by this, the first one listed, when you drink this, do not drive, because you could kill somebody. And how many court cases has there been when a drunk driver, male, female, whatever, woman or man, have killed people and animals and sometimes themselves, and no consequence came of it? They got away with murder because of their inability to not drink and drive, their inability to accept accountability for that, their inability to have someone who's sober drive them home. Instead, you mean to tell me that it was more important for you to tell me about a defect that I could create through consuming this, but you're only telling this one that it will impair its ability to operate? No, it will destroy your ability to operate in a common sense and logical format, which I find bizarre, because as often as I've drank, and I will admit it right here, right now. Why? Because I don't have a vehicle, for one, anymore, and for two, I know how sick and twisted this world is, and if you really want to come for me and arrest me, so fucking be it. Oh, fucking well. As a matter of fact, jail sometimes can be seen as better in these situations, since we're already in prison. I've driven intoxicated and I didn't hit a single person. Okay? I didn't hit anybody. Nobody got harmed. No red lights were blew through. I didn't swerve and go in donuts and circles. Actually, if anything, it improved my ability to drive. So, speaking back on defects and their inability to be accountable of anything, but yet are entitled to, not by my vote and not by my consent, but by the majority of the population's defected ability to use their brains. They get behind the wheel drunk as can be and kill people. They think they have the audacity to tell people about abortions, but yet we'll sit up here and talk about how black women are the main ones killing black people based off of abortion, and not realizing that that's her right. That's her right in your fake world. And then that's her right in natural law, being that she's your creator. Furthermore, I told you that we would come back to the subject of the accountability in as to who is truly the one responsible for that abortion, which is the male. Why? Why do we ask? Because you're the one who ejaculates, not her. You're the one. Don't sit up here and tell me about how she needs to be on birth control. Don't sit up here and tell me about Plan B. You're the one who shoots. Okay? You are. Because you're not you're incompetent. You don't know when to pull out. You don't even know your body. Okay? You don't know your body. To sit up here and tell her that she needs to be the one on birth control, even though, yes, some of us do use birth control. But you're also not comprehending also that in nature, we don't have birth control. In the natural law, we do not have birth control. Why? Because we don't really need it. Why? Because we would keep our children. Why? Because we would have our natural rights. Why? And what are those? Which is a natural right to eat, a natural right to exist, a natural right to use the resources that are here, the natural right to use whatever is there as a methods of shelter, the natural right. And also, may I add that in the natural law, they don't steal from each other. They may eat the little critter as a means of sustenance. However, as far as shelter, when they make their nest, okay, the birds don't run them out of their nest. And if they do, then the bird who originally created that nest is going to come with their gang squad of birds and fuck them up and then reclaim ownership to their own fucking nest. That's natural law for you. So that applied to the human too. We did not make it our method and code to go, you owe me for using Mother Nature's resources. That was our duty to make do or make production of what is there. Okay, we didn't go, that's going to be $10 to eat this. No, we didn't do none of that shit. But we did bargain. Yeah, we did offer service to each other, and not in a sexual perverted manner. Most oftentimes we already knew who our partner was. But now let's fast forward in present day and what's going on. Men have no real room to tell a woman what to do with the womb. She the womb, not you. She is not to submit to you. The reason why she cannot submit to you is because collectively, and also I add, even the ones on the individual level, individually, you have no room to say anything, because for this reason that you are so passive to allow the male counterparts to ruin everything. And by everything, I mean everything. They control everything. They want to claim everything. They want to have and do whatever and what so they choose with everything. And that is my obvious evidence that the male is a fucking defect to woman and himself. Not just to the woman, but to himself. If you subject your mother to this fucking fallacy of yours, because due to your defected mental state, as smart as he thinks he is and as smart as we accept him to be, even though he cannot be, anyone who is smart enough to build a bomb but will not see what's wrong with him building a bomb and then him killing and raping and pillaging his mother. Nobody forced him to do this, and she sure in the hell didn't deserve it. So when there are female predators who join in with this or are born being crazy and delusional like this, I ask, what the fuck is wrong? I know what's wrong. They're defected. They're a defected replication of whatever the fuck is going on here. And is void, is null. Your enforcers, okay? Your enforcers too take in on this vile act and savage act, okay? So I do not take seriously and I do not take personally when I see the blanket of misogynist and female acceptance and submission and passivity and male acceptance and submission to classic, savage, disgusting, vile behavior. I don't take it personally, and I don't take it as I don't take it as insult. No, I don't take it as insult, knowing that you're a defect. Okay? I know that you're a defect. Okay? I know that you're defected. Okay? I know that in order for this to stop, the truth must be told. And in order for justice to rise, the truth first must be addressed and the accountability must be upheld. With that being said, none of my business. None of my business. None of my business. But what is the truth? Okay. Male need to realize what he's saying. Oh, black woman, the one responsible for this and that. No, you are. You don't know your body. You don't know when you ejaculate. You don't hold yourself accountable. You're not taking also into consideration the danger that birth control and the side effects and the risk of birth control. You're not taking accountability that you also are the one who can protect themselves. And also how condoms can be detrimental or can be a solution, yes, but are also detrimental and pose risk and danger to her delicate organs. Perhaps also that you don't have to have sex. You should not be having sex, actually, if you're not responsible enough to take accountability of your children, to state what you want to do with your children. You don't even want to have children, remember? You've helped me realize that I don't even want to have children. Okay, thank you for that. But it's like you don't even want to have the children. So to sit there and then subject her to not only adding to the abuse, because when she has that child, if she were to have that child that you're yelling at her for, and dare say, may I say, that you're advocating for that child to exist, if she were to have that child, you would demonize her for having the child and being a single mother. Not only that, but now she's subjected to more agony and strife and pain. Okay, she's a victim because now she's exploited further. Because the more children she brings here, the more fucking garbage that she has to consume in with your fucking filth. And then her child is at danger and at risk of being subjected to more abuse. Okay, to where they'll be exploited and used to kill other people and used to kill their own people and used to be sexual objects. Okay, so when you look at it that way, maybe then you'll realize, with your defected brain and your inability to comprehend how your submission and appreciation and also your consent to a fallacy legal world that we, your God, your fucking creator, did not approve of, huh? And you think that we're not only do you think, but then you forcefully put us into some type of status. When the real status, when it comes down to the real law, the woman is defended. Okay, she's fought for. Okay? She is catered to, and not in a lazy way, because she provides very much. She has an abundance of gifts to give in that relationship. Not a coexistence, a relationship. Okay? She provides something to her children. She defends her children. She will kill you. She don't care. She will kill you in defense of her own life, in defense of her children. Okay? And she is respected in law. Okay? She ain't used like that in law because they're smart enough and they don't even need to think about it, because natural law understands and comprehends that the woman is not to be used and exploited. She creates, you goddamn idiot. She's the mirror of you. She is able to bring you. They don't cry and complain about how she looks. They are appreciative and honor what she is able to provide. And even in the roles in which she is the one going to get the bread, if you will, she's still appreciated and protected and defended for and accounted to. None of which is practiced in the so-called intellectually advanced. Intellectually defected and emotionally defected. Because you're stupid if you think that doing this, and then also we're looking at this here because what we think are women are men. Which goes to show the strong delusion. Am I against trans? I'm not against any of that. People are welcome to do whatever they so choose, evidently. And the lack of humanity, evidently do whatever they so choose. However, you were pre-selected, okay? Your gender was specifically assigned to you. You chose to be that gender. You understand? So when you choose something and then you want to go somewhere else, it goes to show you're confused. Not only are you confused, but you hate yourself, evidently. Why did you choose then? Huh? So you're upset with your choice? Not my problem. And it's not your job. Huh? It's not your job to make me or try to convince me that you're right, because you'll never be right. And also, I don't believe in right and wrong, but I do believe, or not even believe, I know the scale of appropriate and inappropriate. And by far, by a large scale, inappropriate behavior, inappropriate mechanisms, inappropriate alteration, all inappropriate, which means that you are indeed are not by far, you are not at all superior. Nothing even close, remotely close to superior. If there was ever such a thing, it damn sure ain't you. Okay? Nothing superior. Now, when it comes down to the architecture of it and how it's built and crafted, I won't allocate that to superiority. I allocate that to your ability to use my energy. And by that, it means that regardless, it comes down to the woman. What is it? Women sit around thinking about it while you go and do it, because your ass don't think. You don't think. She is the power and the mechanics behind that. And you're too stupid. You're too fucking stupid to realize that. So then when you get rid of your brain and your womb, you dumb ass. It's the reason why your ass got the testosterone. You're physically equipped for it. You enjoy moving like that. She don't. She ain't lazy, you dumbass. She actually is the mastermind behind all your fake ass shit. So while you cannot accept that and acknowledge that, and you want to be held and praised, I don't need to praise you or myself. Okay? I don't sit around and go, yes, bow to me, kiss my heel. None of that fucking matters. Your ass will not exist without her. And don't even sit here and tell me about how she can or she cannot. This don't work without the woman's consent, Okay? This don't work without her acceptance. It will not work. Law does not argue with this. You can never argue with a woman. The reason why your ass don't know how to argue, you don't know. You try to, and it looks silly when you do it because you're not using logic. Okay? A woman knows what she's talking about when she's talking about. She's pissed off because she's arguing with her offspring. She's pissed off because you have the audacity, okay? And because you're not humble at all. You're telling your mother what to do, and you don't see the problem with this, and you're telling your defected fucking father that it's okay, and accepting his defected behavior and accepting his defected mindset. And this is what's fucking quote unquote what you call wrong, which I don't deem as wrong. I see it as inappropriate and a lack of intellect and genius and enough sound mind to realize that it's inappropriate. I know that it's inappropriate if I speak to you the same way that you speak to me. Hey, you hot piece of ass, will you come over here and fuck me and I'll give you $50? That's inappropriate, and it's blasphemy to my existence. $50 meant nothing to me in the natural law. Meant nothing. Absolutely nothing. You would have been laughed at because we would have never known what the fuck you were talking about. But your fucking delusion has bought into a fake identity and fake ideologies. I would have never even thought to consider an abortion if you were anything of fucking so-called virtue, and the audacity to believe that God would create you first, the cow, or whatever you say, the egg or the chicken, you dumb motherfucker. I did not come from your fucking rib. And as soon as your scientific ass, as smart as you've been, you have doctorate degrees and certificates, and you buy into this dumbass shit. And you want me to go along with it when I'm the brain, she's the brain, we the brain behind your shit. We think about it because your ass obviously has too defective of a brain to think about it. Okay? Because the things that are easy for you, or the things that come naturally to you, my dear man, the things that come naturally, that's because that's what you like to. Not only do you enjoy doing those things, that is your real work. You never needed to be paid for that. Okay? You never needed none of that. And the fact that we buy into this shit at a large scale, and that we've held ourselves captive and prisoner for what? Because of this ego, this male ego, this bro-ho code, where you'll sacrifice your brain, your own brain and your own womb to ensure that your ass is not only not replicated, because you subject her to being your comfort or your medication. Okay, you ascribe her to be medication. Okay, and you don't see something wrong with what you're doing. Okay, the predator female may not realize that what she's doing is wrong, which I doubt it. The reason why I doubt it is because a woman is able to read the predator female very well. And we know she's manipulating you. We know she uses her body to get whatever she wants. We know that she uses sexual tactics and whatever to get what she wants. We're aware. She's aware. We're not. A female predator probably is the most, that one you'd have to be more concerned about, because she is so deceptively skilled at what she does, because she has a brain enough to know this. The male is the one who goes on protecting, as savages, the male predator and man alike, as their savage approach to defend the female predator. Now, I've said enough, and I've had enough of your bullshit, okay? And every single day that your ass thinks, not even thinks, but these collectively, they allow you to be in power, and they haven't fucking sacrificed you already, and you haven't sacrificed your own existence, because the thing is that while the predator's main focus is to remain in power, and so-called power, and to remain existing, it will turn around and go kill folks, not just like me, but just in general. They'll kill anything that brings awareness to or tries to take out their. Now, see, the thing about it is that Fuck all that. They're crazy enough. They will do it. Don't care. Say it. I'm going to say it. I will continue to say it. It's fucking stupid. And we're all stupid. Collectively. Stupid. By far. No superiority. The fucking, all the other ones don't pay real rent. They don't do none of this shit. And they still manage to be alive. And they still manage to feed themselves. So it goes to show, no, not by far. On a large scale, we are not superior. Okay? And this is collectively. I'm not speaking individually. Not superior. You're not in charge, okay? You're not deserving of honor while you subject your mother to this, okay? So as for the ones who are in approval and defend this and want to come attack me and say what they have to say about me doing an abortion, well, fucking learn how to control your body then. You don't know when you're gonna come. Take accountability for that. Why don't you get a vasectomy then? If you're upset, and well, I thought so. You don't want to get in a set of, you want to control her body, but you're not in charge of her body, nor is she in charge of yours, okay? Technically, she is, because hence why you wouldn't be arguing about abortions. She is in control of your body. She determines who come and who go and who don't go. Now, as far as the existing, she likely is not going to go out of her way to take out what she's already put in. That's stupid. Okay? That's why abortion is being done the way it's being done. Your ass don't know how to pull out. You're the one who don't know how to take accountability for that. But you want her to do it? After I just got done telling you the side effects and adverse effects to why she wouldn't want to use birth control, but you're expecting her to do it, but you won't honor that and take accountability and responsibility in your own hands. So then you should not be having sex. And then don't you dare tell me anything about, oh, she shouldn't have opened your legs. You know what, little bitch? Fucking, the main reason why she was with, for you to even attempt to demean her. You dumbass. She don't need you. She don't need your sex. Fucking, you should be grateful. Your ass should be grateful, but you're so fucking mentally retarded and disabled and crippled. You just don't get that. That you shared a gift. Okay? So her kindness and her willingness to give your retarded ass an attempt at so-called heaven, because you really think that you're going to be located somewhere else. Like, oh, here's your entrance. You're stupid. You're fucking idiots collectively. And you know what? Fuck you all, because you're just going to kill yourselves anyways. So, yeah, she have every right to get an abortion. You say black women are the main one getting an abortion? Well, probably because the black man don't know how to control his fucking penis, okay? Also, which goes back to consent. Consent, you don't even know what consent really fucking means. I'd say probably more than likely 50% of the time it was non-consensual sex. Anytime that you have to pressure and manipulate and be condescending, that's not consent. And you and I both know it, because I already know all that shit. You're trash. You're garbage. You'll never be able to touch, or you can look all you want, but you'll never be able to get a damn thing out of me. And if you you think that you're going to be able to rape me, it'll be very difficult. You can have the cold remainder. Okay? Dumbass. Ta-ta. I'm out. I'm gone. Fuck you. The truth. And no, I'm not going to be nice and politically correct about a goddamn thing, because that shit don't exist. Okay? Y'all give it what it gives, and give it the identity that it has. I do not.